We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a dear heritage, biased and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll and the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is time of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh, yeah. People of Biafra. See light shining on the world. Oh, yeah.
What's that, Martin? We're not fighting each other. We know where we're going. We're going to get Biafra. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, no one will touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. Even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belong to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you touch our investments, we'll come back for you. And we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian, if you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adama, oh, well and good. There's no problem.
Onye si na agata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị iwe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee dị aleta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọya nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra ebe ndị kọstọm sokonye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm jiri ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo ekosịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwasịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agha ka isi na-ebu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe emilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero site otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị ipoB ka o wee taa akọkọ igiri ọtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ nwa bụ ekele n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge mmalite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị nwe anyị gwa anọkpa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. I appreciate everyone that has connected. As you join, invite someone else to join. It is our evening section. Remember, every evening we come and we do a recap on our program, and most importantly, we present what is happening in Nigeria. We go to Nigerian conventional media and we use information from the Nigerian media to explain certain things and also to expose the failure of Nigerian government. That is what our evening program is all about. Making sure we present the decay of Nigeria before the whole world, why it is necessary that contraction called Nigeria must end, why Biafra remains the only remedy. Every evening, we come here to show you the decay of Nigeria from their own conventional media. Because most time people will think that because we are on social media, we come, we speak, we talk, and they say that our informations are not verified. So every evening, I come on program using their own information from the media to expose them and also debunk their lies and expose all their failures. That is what we do every evening. So before we go into that, remember today, we are talking about the political elites in Nigeria and their evil, more especially in Biafra land. We continue to expose the Southeast leaders. The Southeast leaders. The the South leaders, the evil they are doing against their own people, secret deals they are doing against us. The secret deal the South leaders are doing against us. They crushed ipoB, silenced the people. Their mission is to crush ipoB and silence the people. Who are those doing that? The politicians, the Southeast leaders, those who call themselves elite, the Ohanese doing and now. The only project they have is to destroy ipoB. And we will continue to expose them. Why it is very important that we expose them is that today they have employed ordinary Biafrans. Ordinary innocent Biafrans have been employed. Some of them are innocent, but there are some of them who have already sold their soul to the devil. And they are the one doing the dirty job for them. That is why we think it is important that we call attention of the Biafran people to that. Because a lot of souls will be deceived. A lot of innocent mind will be corrupted. What you are seeing that is happening in this agitation today is a creation of Nigerian government and their politicians. Look at ipoB. Look at the ones that call themselves the DOS, using the same platform Mazi Nnamdi Kanu created against him. Unbelievable. Do you ever believe that a day like today will come? Personally, I never believed that a day like today will come. A day where Radio Biafra will be used against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Where platforms that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu created will be used against him. Where people will on camera and begin to call out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. People who claim to be in agitation. Something that even myself did not do. People that disagree with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never did. That is what some members of ipoB are doing today. That is what the dismissed DOS is doing today. And they have employed even more people. They have employed, the government of Nigeria have employed people and paid to a station where they will be castigating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they employ the service of Law Nega Chimezie. They employ the service of Law Nega. Today, Law Nega is in the front line of destroying the image of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, destroying the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, destroying his legal team and his family. That is the project. Money have changed hand, and they do not care anymore. They don't care. They will come and pretend to be angel of light. You will see them on, more especially that very platform, VOP, the Igbo program. That Igbo program is dedicated to attack on Biafra. The Igbo program of VOP is completely dedicated to attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, attack on Biafra, attack on Mazi Simon Ekpa. Maybe you don't know. Now you know. It is no longer when they were hiding. Every one of you know the battle that Mazi Simon Ekpa fought against all the enemies of Biafra. The ipoB Nigeria, the politicians, the military, the presidency, every one of them united together and they were fighting against Mazi Simon, including the British. They activated their criminal global conspiracy and they were able to take Mazi Simon Ekpa out of the picture. Today, now you see the result of removing Mazi Simon Ekpa. When Mazi Simon Ekpa was here, none of them have the guts to speak against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Simon Ekpa, even with all the insult he was getting, even he was being attacked by the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at a point in time. He was being attacked by people that are close to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even his wife. But Mazi Simon Ekpa warned us. Even he warned us never to speak about his wife. We should not speak about the wife of Nnamdi Kanu. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, it is his right to put his in order. including his family. It took time before Mazi Simon Ekpa responded to the family of Mazi Nandekan. And in his response, he wasn't attacking. That is how far we have gone. But today, look at where we are. Look at where we are. You're welcome, my beloved sister, Macy Akere. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Donna, thank you so much for joining. Is that Donna? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. So this is the situation we found ourselves. We are in a very critical time. This time is not a time of propaganda, not a time of blackmail, not a time of distraction. Mazi Simon Ekpa spoke about this very time that we are in. Eventually, he is not here today. But are we going to fold our hand, doing nothing, and allow the enemies to be running around, pushing their propaganda and blackmails? We will not. We will never allow them. That is why I have dedicated myself to becoming online. I come online 2 times every day. I don't care how many people that are watching. I do not care. All I know is that I do that which is my own assignment. You that is watching me out there, your own duty is to share the program. Click like, give a thumbs up to the program and share so that others can join. Just do your sharing. It is in the hand of Chukwu Kadema to extend the message to people who need to hear it. Don't worry about the population. In my platform, I don't talk to people to make them happy. I don't come here to promote nonsense. Neither do I come here to begin to support evil. No. I talk about reality. Many of my programs recently have been speaking about focusing on the reality on the ground. Until you begin to look at the reality, you will continue to be deceived. Don't take it from me. As I'm speaking, don't just take it by word I said. Make the verification. Look at the reality in between every single thing I say. Today, it is the Biafran people that are doing the job for the Nigerian government, for the Caliphate, and for the British to see that the Biafra is not restored. Today, ipoB Nigeria, led by the DOS, they are trying everything humanly possible to change the ipoB into a political pressure group. When Mazi Simon Ekpa said that is what they wanted, you didn't believe him. We thought it was a joke. Today, they are coming out openly. You saw the program I played in the morning when one of them came to that same platform that I was talking about, that same VOP. One idiot came there and he was saying that why not change ipoB to, we should change ipoB to a political group, a political party. I change it up to the compare it to ANC of South Africa. The same way ANC of South Africa, the same thing, what do you call him? Lord Necker was doing. Trying to tell us that ANC, when they were there, ANC, that's Mandela was not in charge. The same line of thought that Lord Necker was bringing in. Somebody was still in that same VOP, promoting that he has told Mazi Nandekan to turn the ipoB to political party. Bunch of idiots. And today, they have succeeded in capturing the Department of Sabotage, the DOS, and Mazi Nandekan knew. Mazi Nandekan knew they have been bought over. The only reason today the pressure is on Mazi Nandekan is because Mazi Simon Ekpa is not around. The absence of Mazi Simon Ekpa have created a vacuum for them to mount this pressure on Mazi Nandekan. And of course, Mazi Nandekan is equal to the task. When they couldn't break him to denounce ipoB or to transform ipoB to a political party. They begin to use the same ipoB against them. Now you see what Wazirike faced when Wazirike was doing his masop. Can you now understand what was it when it takes the grace of Chukwu Okike Abịama for you to go through this process and succeed? It takes the grace of Chukwu Okike Abịama. Sometimes when we say that Wazuke betrayed, do you know what he passed through? There was a video where Wazuke explained how all his commanders were brought to him in detention. And it was his commanders that was telling him that he should hands off Biafra there. For them, they have hands up. His commanders collected amnesty in his absence and came to preach to him. What do you expect him to do? Of course, he doesn't have the influence Mazen Nandekan had, and if he refuses to bow out, they will take his life in that place and nobody will protest. He will lose his life and nobody will protest. So it's better for him to be alive and continue to hope for a better day ahead. That was how Wazuke gave up. That was how Wazuke gave up. Look at what they're doing to Mazen Nandekan. The DOS that Mazen Nandekan formed has been hijacked by the politicians. And when we talk about the hijack of the politicians, some of you think it's a joke. It is not a joke. It is not a propaganda. It is not a blackmail. It is a fact. This is something that happened before every one of us. And it was confirmed by the governors. It was confirmed by the governors. Soludo come on national television and told the whole world that ipoB have agreed to work with him. You know, some of you forget, but we will never forget. We don't forget. Soludo came on national television and told the world that ipoB have agreed to work with him. And they did not deny it. Chike came online to confirm it, that the governors approached them and asked them to hand over the ESN to them. And they did. They handed over the ESN to the governors. They took the that is why today when they still talk about ESN, where is the ESN? There is no ESN that exists anywhere. What we had on the ground was the Liberation Army. Those ESN that Mazi Simon Ebanchok rescued from the hand of the President of Sokotua. He rescued them and he transformed them into an army. We never had, there is nothing like ESN existed anywhere. All the ESN that Mazi Nandekan formed, this DOS took them and handed over to governors. The governors changed them into ipoB. They changed them into Agode Jemba. They changed them into Andakodo. They are the ones today working for the governors, working for Soludo, working for Hope Uzodinma. They betrayed the cause of the journey. And some of us has forgotten. Today they come, they present them. Go and see what they are not even hiding their betrayal anymore. They don't hide it. In all the ipoB platform established by Mazen Nandekan, they can go and check all of them what they are broadcasting. They are all broadcasting against Mazen Nandekan. Only few of them that has conscience are now confessing and even apologizing to Mazen Simon Ekpa. They are apologizing to Mazen Simon for the betrayal, for not seeing what Mazen Simon saw. What Mazen Simon saw about 4 years ago, it is only now that they are seeing it. After everything has been destroyed and damaged. It is so sad. Very, very sad. The Nigerian government, with the absence of Mazen Nandekan and Mazen Simon Ekpa, penetrated into the struggle. They planted people under Mazen Simon Ekpa, planted people on the ipoB. Even after the detention of Mazen Simon Ekpa, it was chaos everywhere. Everybody, it was to Israel. People were just promoting themselves, promoting their own personal, fighting for personal gain. It was no longer about the unity of purpose. It was no longer about the purpose for which we gather. It was now about individual exaltation. People were trying to elevate themselves to a height that they can never attain. And they forgot that you earn respect, you don't command respect. They forgot that you have to earn respect. You don't need to command respect. That was what Mazen Nandekano did. Mazen Nandekano earned every single respect he has today. And that is why people are ready to lay their life down for him. Biafrans are ready to lay their life down for Mazen Nandekano. Mazen Samanaba came and followed the same pattern. Earned the respect from Biafra, supported the will of the people, not his will, the will of the people. But people would have today that claim to be the leaders in the struggle are people who are pursuing their own will. It's either you do what I say or nothing happens. That is not how to lead. That is not how to lead. Forcing people against their will, blackmailing, pushing propaganda. That is the order of the day today. You see many Biafran platforms have turned to a blackmailing platform, a saga platform. You will open your camera from morning till night, you are speaking against your brother, your sister, attacking your brother, your sister. Meanwhile, there is a very serious issue ahead of us. Just like the one we're saying to look at. Election is coming up next year. And people are preparing for election. What are we doing? We are busy gossiping. We are busy destroying each other. We are busy attacking the leadership of Biafra. Mazen Nandiukan, Mazen Simon Ebert. Do you think that if they were around, this is what will happen? If Mazen Simon was around, nobody will be talking about the election in Biafra land today. Including Abuja. Abuja will be worried. If Mazen Simon was that, Abuja will be running helter skelter about the election. But today they are relaxed. They don't even care. As we speak, they are conducting operation in Biafra land. Something that didn't happen when Mazen Simon was there. Throughout the time Mazen Simon was in charge, from 2021 to 2024 when he left out, Nigerian army don't have that boldness to conduct any operation in Biafra land. Police, we are afraid of even wearing their uniform in our territory. Courts, we are shutting down. That is how much we were taking charge in our land. That was when you will say that we are in control of our territory. And you verify it from people on the ground. People on the ground will tell you that yes, the Biafra people are in charge of the territory. But today, put a call in Biafra land and ask them what is happening. And even as the whole territory is being lost, some people are still online deceiving you that Biafra has come. Deceiving you that they are doing something. As far as I'm concerned, today, nobody is serious in the process of Biafra. That is why my focus today is the release of Mazen Nandekan, the release of Mazen Samopa, because only these two things can guarantee our future. The only thing that can guarantee our unity is the release of Mazen Nandekan and Mazen Samopa. The only thing that can guarantee our recognition by the entire world and those who hate us is the release of Mazen Nandekan. The only thing that can confirm and legitimize the actualization of Biafra is the release of Mazen Nandekan. More especially Mazen Samopa, who is coming on court on the 5th of August. That is why I advocate for everybody to support the fundraising for Mazen Samopa, international lawyer. If you have something you are doing somewhere else to make sure Mazen Samopa is properly represented, kudos to you. Share with us. We want to see it. If you're one of those who is underground, no problem. Remain in your underground and shut up there. Don't disturb those that are doing things that human being can see. And those of you who are in various groups, I give you charge. Every day I continue to give you charge and demand. When you get to your group, wherever you belong, when you go there, ask them, what are they doing to see that Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko is properly represented on the 5th of August. if people who are not Biafrans, ordinary people who on their own are not Biafrans, are preparing to make sure that the Mazi Simon Ekpa is well defended, what about you that is a Biafran? I played the video of Dr. Masanga, a human rights activist, an activist. That's what he is. Dr. Masanga, fighting tirelessly. He has written many letters to the Nigerian government on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi and Mazi Simon Ekpa. He has written to Amnesty International. He has written to the World Court. He has written to so many places. And he said he is going to face Finland. He's going to come on Finland on the 5th of August. He's making his preparation. He has already filed so many petitions. He is not a Biafran. Nobody is paying him. Nobody hired him on his own. Nobody hired Mazanga on his own. He said it with his own mouth. Nobody is paying him. Nobody hired him on his own. He is making sure that Mazi Simon Ekpa is properly represented. And he said he's going to be there on the 5th of August to challenge the Finland authority. How did they get the evidence that they used to convict Mazi Simon Ekpa? Is it from the same terrorist country? A country of particular concern? A country that has members of Boko Haram in their military, in their police? A country that the terrorists are running at their first? Are they the ones that are giving you the evidence to prosecute an innocent citizen that has a clean record? That's the question we want to hear. How did Finland authority arrive to the evidence they have? From who? Which office in Nigeria is credible enough to present an evidence that can be utilized any place in the world? None. No Nigerian offices can present an evidence that meets international standard. Never. But because of wickedness and selfish interest, the Finland authority decided to sell out a man that has served them diligently, a man that has given his life to them. What a shame. But Chukwu Okukabia will never forgive them. We're here, we're watching and waiting. And I strongly believe that in no distance time, things are going to happen. The attack against us in Nigeria will never be overlooked. If you are a Biafran and you don't know that you don't belong to Nigeria, shame on you. Shame on you. And when one Nigeria will happen to you, pray that you survive. Because when we are talking about it, you think it's a joke. You think it's a play. Okay, it will get your turn. Then when you get your turn, you will now understand. Just like our brother B. Lord, I have never seen him speaking about Biafra. Although they are the people who have investment in Nigeria and they are being very careful with their investment, we understand. But even if you're not vocal, you can go through other means to support the struggle of your people. Today, you see how they are dragging B. Lord here and there, using their agent, very dark man, an idiot who doesn't know his left and right. Everybody that wants to show muscle in Nigeria will show muscle with an Igbo man. Everybody that wants to be relevant will be relevant with intimidation of an Igbo man. If you're an Igbo person, no matter how rich you are, as long as you are in Nigeria, you are in captivity. You can imagine a riffraff from nowhere. Because of a riffraff, a billionaire was detained for many years, for many days. A billionaire, a genuine businessman, a billionaire doing his genuine business, only in Nigeria. In a civil case, they detained him for how many days? This is why we are asking to get out of the Zoological Republic, so that people can know their rights. I thank God that today he has been released. And as he has been released, I pray that he learned his lesson. I pray that he has learned his lesson. That is my prayer for him. I pray that he has learned his lesson. Because if he doesn't learn his lesson, he is still going to face another challenge. in Nigeria, it does not matter how rich you are. It does not matter how connected you are. As long as you're an Igbo person, you are an endangered species in Nigeria. If you like, take it. If you like, leave it. As long as you are an Igbo person in Nigeria, you are an endangered species. And the only way you can find safety and security is by getting out of the zoo. As long as you remain in Nigeria, you are an endangered species. And how long shall we continue to face such situation? This is why we are shouting and talking every day. This is why the issue of Biafra is in our heart. This is why we cannot let go. But some of them do not understand. I thank God that B. Lord have been released today. His bail have been granted, and by the special grace of Chukwu Kabiam, he will be his family today. For no just cause, for no reason, because he's an Igbo man. The persecution is because he's an Igbo man. A genuine businessman, a billionaire, a riffraff set him up. Something that cannot happen in a civilized world. It cannot happen in a civilized country. Very irresponsible idiots set him up and they detained him for so many days. So many days of detention. And finally today, he has been granted bail. I thank God for him. And I hope that other billionaires like him will learn their lesson. That the only place we have security and safety is in our own land, Biafra. Only Biafra land, that is where you have safety and security. Without that, there is no other place. If not, anybody that comes out will use you and shine. They will use it to advertise themselves. They will use it to make themselves popular. The Igbos are always the soft target. That is him. He has gotten his bail. And I thank Shore for being resilient all the time. Shore, you can hate him, you can like him. We have our differences with Shore. We have our differences with him, but he is consistent. One thing with Shore is he is consistent. He has not changed. Shore has been very, very consistent. And all he wants is revolution. Even though we don't believe in that revolution, we have our own belief. All we want is separation. But at least he is focusing on his own lane. He's focusing on his own lane. He is not distracting anybody. He is not attacking us. And we are not attacking him. Only some senseless idiot will go and begin to attack him. Just like the idiot that called himself a very dark man is trying to pinch him against the Igbos. But as far as I know, in Nigeria today, he is the only activist that stands out. Sure. Whenever something happens, regardless who is concerned, he will come out. He will come out. Regardless who is concerned, he will come out. And he has been doing his own part. Even though we don't believe, our belief and his is not the same. Our opinion and his own opinion are not the same. But one thing that is common between us and him is that we believe that Nigeria has gone. Nigeria is gone. Nigeria is irredeemable. Nigeria is irredeemable. You cannot redeem Nigeria. There's no way you can redeem it. That one is the clear truth. There's no two ways about it. You cannot redeem Nigeria. He believes that, and we believe that. But he thinks that you can get it back through revolution. That's his belief. And I give it to him. He is pursuing it. But we, just like we don't believe that anything can be done except disintegration of Nigeria. We don't believe in that. We don't believe that anything else can be done except the dismantling of Nigeria. That is our own belief. He has his own belief. And he's pursuing his own belief. That is how responsible human being does things. We have our disagreement. He goes his way, we go our way. But look at the other idiot that call himself a human rights activist, the one that call himself a very dark man. An agent of darkness that the government is using. I have said it several times before now, that the government are using him. Today it has become clear. You saw him attacking Showore, calling him different kind of names. The same thing politicians are doing against Showore is what he's doing. Somebody that claimed to be an activist. What did Showore do to him? That he went and connived with the police and arrest Bilon and told him that is not the right thing to do. If you have a case to Bilon, go straight to the court and face it off with him. Why do you have to use police to arrest him and begin to send him to jail? That was what Showore did, and he's attacking Showore. And today, the most painful thing is that there are still some Igbo people that are supporting that idiot. Igbo people are supporting that criminal. This is not a question of your brother or not your brother. But for you to be an Igbo man and you are supporting very dark man against your innocent brother that is a genuine businessman that has built wealth for himself, you are only an idiot. And it is your envy and jealousy that will kill you. Only bunch of idiots and animals, they are the ones that are going to support that idiot. There are so many of them. I see so many of them, some of them content creator. You create content just to make sure you have view. Because of viewership, you cannot speak the truth. Because you want to have view, you will not speak the truth. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because of view, you cannot speak the truth. Even our Igbo people are joining that idiot called VDM. Some people today, social media have made them to lose their conscience. There are some of us today, even in this Biafra struggle, they are afraid to say certain things because of their view. They don't want to follow the right path because when they live there, they will lose their viewers. The viewers will go down. Who cares? I don't give a damn about viewership. What I stand for is the right thing. Once my spirit convinces me that this thing I'm doing is right, I don't care. Thousands of people can be doing a different thing. I will do my own. Thousands of people. I have said it. I am not part of any group. The only group I am is the group to make sure that Biafra comes. And the only project I have is the freedom of Mazen Nandekama Mazen whatever. Every other thing is a lie and scam. Anybody that is telling you anything in any group, I don't care who the person is, whatever project any person is presenting to you, without the release of Mazen in the front as number one, that person is a liar. Run for your life. Run. The only project in this present struggle today is the release of Mazen Nandekam and the release of Mazen Samaraba, because only the release of these people will give us unity. Only their release can give us recognition. Only their release can guarantee the actualization of Biafra. So if anybody is telling you today that Biafra has come already, that is a lie from the pit of hell. Focus on reality. Anybody that is telling you anything to make you happy or to make you clap for him or her that he's doing something, please don't deceive yourself. Look at the reality. Ask questions. Call people on. There was a time we were in charge in Biafra land. And that time, nobody could tell you now. We were in charge in Biafra land. There was a time the Liberation Army of Biafra were marching in the street. We saw them. I still have the video. They were marching in the street. They came to the marketplace and they passed through the market. People were hailing them. The Liberation Army. Liberation Army were patrolling in the public. They were not hiding. That is when we were in charge. Courts were shutting down. Courts were shutting down. Police were scared of wearing their uniform in our territory. Military cannot conduct any operation. But today they are conducting operation. You can imagine Udele going down to Biafra land to confront the Liberation Army. You can imagine. Udele, going down to Biafra land to confront the Liberation Army. Something that cannot happen. When Mazi Samaneko say, who born him? Who born her? Who born Udele to go to Biafra land and appeal? But today, everything has fallen apart. We have lost everything. We are just at the mercy of the United States. The only grace we are looking for is the United States. The designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern and the Christian genocide. That is the only place we are laying our hope. Without the freedom of Mazi Nandekana and Mazi Samaneba, we are doomed. Because nothing is happening anywhere. Nothing, absolutely nothing is happening anywhere. Take it to the bank. If you like, continue to deceive yourself. If you like, continue to make yourself happy. I will speak the truth. And there is nothing going on anywhere in regards to the freedom of Biafran people today. Everything is standstill. Where Mazi Samaneka left it, that is where it is. Where Mazi Samaneka brought us up to, that is where we stopped. There has not been any move, not even 1 inch. Instead, we have even lost the territories we have captured before. We have lost everything. Today, Nigerian government is 100% in control of our land. Nigerian government is 100% control of our territory in Biafra land. 100% control. That is why they have the boldness to patrol in our land today. The boldness of creating their city boys, making campaign and holding meetings. You can imagine Soludo going to London to conduct a town hall meeting. Soludo went to London, conducted a town hall meeting. And even in the town hall meeting, was harassing Biafrans in that day. One of the guys the bullied have sued him in the court in the UK. Soludo took the same Ndakodo in Nigeria, the same Ndakodo. He took them. The same Ebobag, he took them to London and began to harass Biafrans in the hope, something that cannot happen in the place of Mazi Nandekano Mazi Samaneka. It cannot happen. They dare not. Who born Soludo? When Mazi Samaneka was here, Soludo was campaigning for the freedom of Mazi Nandekano. Soludo saw the pressure. Even when he tried to maneuver to go and make up, he was scared of himself. But today, they have seen the weakness that there is nobody that is capable enough to confront them. Right from time, you know that the DOS is not doing anything. The DOS has already been hijacked and handed over to the governors. That one, you don't expect them to do anything because the confession was done openly. I still have the video here. I still have the video. When Igbo came out and said that we are now working with the DOS are ready to work for us. The DOS are ready to work with us. And the Chief Edoziem came out and confirmed it, that the governors approached them to hand over to them the ESN, and they handed over ESN to them. So sometimes it baffles me today when some people come and claim ESN, they say there is no ESN anywhere. The DOS has no ESN. They have handed over the people they have to the governors. It was Mazi Samaneka that rescued the ESN. Some of them rescued them and turned them into an army. That was what happened. But today you still see some people parading themselves, believing nonsense. You see a mature human being that has brain completely. Let's assume initially you might be mistaken. Somebody might be telling you something you don't verify. You just give that time to wait. How long will it take you to use your common sense? With every drama that is happening today, with every drama that is unfolding, with all the drama that's unfolding, you are still waiting for me to come and convince you. You are still waiting for me to come and call names. You are still waiting for me to come and slap you before you understand. You are an idiot. You can continue to deceive yourself. continued. If you want to enter into fire, enter, let that fire burn you and consume you. I won't bring you out. Stay there. Stay in the fire. Stay in the fire. Let it consume you. Since you don't know how to, you are pretending not to know your left and right. Continue to pretend. My only duty is to speak. And I will speak. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you can go and hug the platform. I pray that Chukwu will guide them. We guide and protect the genuine Biafrans that knows what they want. The genuine Biafrans that use their common sense. The genuine Biafrans that are not sheepish followers. I pray that Chukwu will continue to strengthen them and give them that patience to continue to hang on until we get to our destination. Because this battle must be fought. And we must win the battle. No matter how bad it is, no matter how difficult it is, we will never give up. We will never give up. I urge every Biafran, wherever you are, you must stand tall and stand strong. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Our duty is to continue to expose the zoological republic, and we will expose them to the least. So we are going to also go into their media. As I said, we bring something that is in their media to expose their evil deeds. We will bring their media news, the information in their media, and use it against them. That is what we do. And that is what we are going to do now. Right now, we will go into their media and see the nonsense, the lies, the propaganda they are pushing. And most times, they condemn themselves by themselves. They use their hand to judge themselves. We don't even need to do much work. That is why we need to bring their media in, because sometimes people will feel that we are the one talking. Oh, it is only us. We just come here, we put information we are saying, we don't know what we are saying, it is not verifiable. Don't worry. You are going to verify this one. You are looking for verifiable information. You are going to verify this. And that is why we are here. To make sure you verify. We are going to make sure you verify, since it's that verification we want. So I want everybody to pay attention. Let us listen and hear what they have in their media to expose them the more and their evil deeds. Let's listen to them and get the updates confirming that Nigeria has gone and gone for good. Nigeria is finished. Nigeria is finished. The update to confirm that Nigeria is finished.
Stories trending around the world is the lady in red. Anyesia Osakwe. Good morning,
Lady in red. Thank you so much, Ayo. So it's completed this 24-week program organized by the Defense Headquarters where they were taught skills, including carpentry, barbing, tailoring, and even baking. According to the military, this program shouldn't be seen as a reward for violence, but instead as a tool to curb terrorism.
Let me also emphasize that Operation Safe Corridor is not an amnesty.
This is 700 plus Boko Haram members. 700 plus members of Boko Haram. They say they radicalize them. They will put them back into the city. Very shameless country. The same people that are still killing them every day.
This was all under the Operation Safe Corridor program, which
Operation
was
Safe
created by the
Corridor.
military about 10 years ago in response to Boko Haram. Now it's underscored by this idea that lasting peace can't just be achieved through military force, but it has to be combined with reintegrating terrorists that are willing to walk away from a life of violence. The big picture, it's been really controversial as it raises the broader question of who gets to be forgiven in society, and do the states and federal government actually have the capacity to ensure that these individuals won't end up reverting back to criminality? Let's head to X to see what people are saying. Now, Victor said, not fair at all. Gallant officers sacrificed their life while on the line of duty for the state, only for the enemies they fought against to be reintegrated just because they're repentant. Not fair at all. Then we have Adewale, who said, I get the frustration, but it's really not that simple. Some people can be de-radicalized and reintegrated, otherwise conflicts never really end. The real issue is how it's done, not pretending that change is impossible. And finally, Ebere says, "It shall never be well with all of these terrorist sympathizers. We've not finished battling the ones that we have. They're busy releasing more back into society. What type of a barbaric country are we living in?" Now that last tweet might have a point because almost every week, almost every day, we see new videos of terrorists basically flaunting innocent people, families that they've abducted en masse on social media, or videos, and I think we have a video of this, of millions in ransom payments that have been taken from people. There's one that was trending, and I think we can play that video now, of basically wads of cash being shown on camera. There it is.
Imagine.
You know, this has really struck a tone with a lot of people online because
you see money ransom
like
they collected.
But meanwhile,
in a country that people don't see money to eat, look at the money that terrorists collected.
As Nigerian security officials are on high alert as we speak after a leaked internal memo from the Nigerian Customs Service revealed that Islamic militants were planning an attack on Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja's Kuje prison, as well as a detention center in Niger State. Now, according to this two-page document leaked on Thursday, ISWAP fighters have already invaded Abuja in preparation for this attack. And the militants' plan is twofold: one, to release imprisoned terrorists, and two, to inflict, quote, significant damage on critical aviation infrastructure. I'll come to you on all of these stories because it's a lot, but it's really indicative of the state of where terrorism is and the fight against terrorism vis-a-vis reintegrating ex-terrorists back into society. How should we take all of this?
Balancing act. Let me just for the sake of clarity. Number one is that Operation Safe Corridor was initiated as the part of the what they call the non-kinetic aspect of the fight against terrorism. It doesn't stand alone. So there's a kinetic part, which is the force. We've seen in recent times, precise strikes on terrorist location and campsites. We've seen in recent times prosecution of some terrorists. 500 of them appeared in court. 345 convictions were gotten, and that process was expedited because of how important it was. So I just want to mention that this is not the only solution to terrorism, which is Operation Safe Corridor. It's meant to be complementary to the efforts of the Nigerian military. But as you already mentioned, even though the United Nations has given through policy documents around some suggestions or recommendations for how terrorism can be fought, including the non-kinetic approach, let's now situate it to Nigeria. 744 graduates. I asked the question earlier that this is a process of de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. To what extent, if you're graduating, there's usually a KPI or metrics to measure why you qualify to be graduated.
Okay.
If all 744 who went through this program in only 6 months, that's another big question mark. How much of a debt with 6 months?
With 6 months, you radicalize a terrorist, somebody who have been terrorists for years.
How many of them were certified?
Look at their faces.
Fit enough to graduate. That's number one. How do you measure a de-radicalized terrorist?
Mm-hmm.
Number two is that they're saying that they will be reintegrated.
Ask them.
Integrated to what and to where?
Mm-hmm.
The big question is that which society would they be?
Ask them.
These communities
You will be integrated.
Resistant to these,
shameless country, disgraced country.
De-radicalized terrorists. And this is because there's no assurance that they are fully de-radicalized.
Disgraced country.
They face discrimination, they face prejudice and bias from the communities. In fact, Dr. Maxwell Oparo was here with us earlier, had argued that some of these communities do not even exist anymore. Many of these spaces where they came from, and many of the community members were displaced by the same terrorists, or some of them, and are now in IDP.
Disgraced country.
For that. The other part of our integration is that for this program to be successful, you must address the reason in the first place that made it able for them to be coerced into a life of criminality. Some were kidnapped, they had no option in that choice. But some people was through it because they don't have jobs, economic reasons. And so what provisions do we have as a society to meet the job demands of these people. Even those that have not even gone into terrorism at all do not have jobs. We are still trying to create jobs for young Nigerians and now are looking to integrate. So the program is flawed in that sense. And one other thing, and I'll end on this, I think that we should also find out is information, data. Who are these? If they are low risk, profiled as low risk, can there be like a profiling of some of these people as how they got into the life of terrorism so that Nigerians can get a bit of buy-in into this? Number two is that to what extent has this program worked? This program has been in existence for about 2 years now. To what extent has this program worked? Are there success stories? So if we don't have those data, those numbers, it will continue to be met with resistance because on the other side, you then ask the question, who deserves to get into a de-radicalization program? How about those protesters who were on the streets? How about those people that are locked up because they came out to exercise their
those ones don't deserve.
How about young people in the
those ones don't deserve rehabilitation.
We're talking about the prison system being full. So the system isn't fair, and that's why it will be very difficult to convince the Nigerian people that this is the way to go. However, it has been recommended because it has been seen that some of these people are victims of circumstances beyond their control, and some of them can be redeemed.
The only thing is because they are Northerners. Northerners must not be in prison.
Nuanced topic that obviously has to be dealt with.
They are Fulanis.
As we talk about this reintegration of ex-terrorists into society. But let's now turn to the politics space, where the public is reacting to one of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's most combative speeches yet, with the president speaking directly to the opposition, stating that he's not scared of them and that nothing will distract him from the job. Now, the president delivering these remarks on Thursday at the State House in Abuja, while meeting with his group of Renewed Hope ambassadors, a group meant to take the president's message to the grassroots across the country. Let's watch.
You want to scare me off? It's a lie.
Who scares a drug baron? Before you become a drug pusher, you have brave heart.
I've been through this path before, and if I have to come back over and over and over again, I'll do the same thing.
Tell them.
There you have it. The president basically saying he's not new to this. He then took aim specifically at former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, accusing him of trying and failing to privatize the African Democratic Congress before then listing out everything he thinks the former president didn't privatize properly. Let's take a look at that.
The privatizer is still industry. Is he working today? No answer. The privatizer that is he working today? God released. The privatizer another man's political party. That was
Now, the president's speech, as you heard, was essentially a call to his campaign team to turn it up a notch and get laser focused on 2027. The room filled with his supporters and APC leaders, from his vice president, Kashim Shettima, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, who's also the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. A bigger picture, this groundswell of APC support comes as an old clip of the former governor of Ondo State, the late Arakunri Rotimi Akeredolu, spoke about the dangers of having a weak opposition. Let's take a look.
These people are a bunch of disgrace, and this is not why we come here. Let us look at the interview that was granted to Maxwell. Maxwell was also interviewed on this very place in regards to this very issue. So we have to go to Maxwell and hear what Maxwell had to say. Maxwell was interviewed in regards to this madness that is going on in the Zoological Republic. An interview of Maxwell, let us go to the interview of Maxwell and hear what Maxwell responded when he was interviewed on this very platform. That is more important for us. Their politics is something that we are not part of, and I wouldn't want us to waste our time begin to listen on their idiotic political ideas and their political madness. So we have to go and look at things that concerns us, not their madness that they are exposing on daily basis. So we have to focus on those issues that concerns us. Let us hear this part of the interview and what Maxwell had to say.
Graduated from the federal government's de-radicalization, rehabilitation and reintegration camp under Operation Safe Corridor. Joining us on the show to discuss the reintegration of de-radicalized insurgents against the background of an upsurge in banditry, kidnapping and violent crimes in the country is Dr. Maxwell Okpara, a lawyer. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program today.
It is my pleasure to be here once again. Good morning, Dr. Bati. Good morning, Vidbai. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Sorry, Dr. Okpara. Good to have you on our set. And first, let me congratulate you on the successful completion of your program at the University of Abuja. I'm quite a privilege to be interviewing a brand new PhD in law of medical ethics. Your PhD. Well, one of these days I will get tempted to write another PhD. But I'm interested in the fact that you are doing medical negligence and your thesis is the proof of medical negligence. That's your research area, which I think is a very interesting subject. But we are here to discuss rehabilitation of 774 repentant, in quotes, terrorists. The federal government says this is under Operation Safe Corridor. These 774 persons were trained in vocational skills for 24 weeks in Gobi, and now they are being released to society, being reintegrated under DDR, disarmament, demobilization, reintegration. What's your take on this development?
Okay, thank you once again. I want to start by saying that God keeping us alive, by next week I shall be approaching a federal high court to stop this madness. We can't continue like this. In the first instance, you talked about the United Nations resolution. That was a grant or a purported legal framework upon which the army is committing this illegality. In the first instance, we have a law. Under our criminal jurisprudence, we have the Constitution, we have Administration of Criminal Justice Act, and some other various laws. Now, once a crime is committed, our laws are there. Once you are investigated, you'll be charged to court. Once you are charged to court, the only rule the federal government have to do is to, through the Attorney General, to discontinue the matter. Either the State Attorney General or the Federal Attorney General, whichever the person that is prosecuting that offense. Once the person has been faced a trial and convicted, the only option for the person is to grant the person amnesty, that presidential pardon. When the person met the necessary criteria. Now, the representative of Chief of Army Staff during the function said that this thing is not amnesty. Now we ask, what is that? I have a client that mistakenly murdered somebody through a fight. But that young woman has spent over 25 years, as I speak to you now, at the Suleja prison.
Oh.
And this somebody, a particular disabled citizen, sacked an entire community in the name of terrorism. The army, our gallant soldiers, risked their life. Some of them even lost their life. Apprehend the terrorism suspect. Hand it over to the authority for prosecution. Then after 6 months, they told us that they have been repented and they have been trained, that they are going to now integrate into the society. And the representative of Chief of Army Staff was begging the community to accept them back.
Madness.
I asked him question again.
Which community?
is no longer in existence. Now, who are those that receive them? The people that are already in the IDP camp. So this thing must stop. This is, to me, this is an epitome of fraud. Now, I'm also inviting the EFCC to check how much that was spent in carrying out this funny process. Now, how many terrorist suspects do we have in the whole federation? How many are in Abuja? How many are in the SSS? Do you apply this to all of them? Now, the same chief of army staff was telling us that most of them were coerced into the crime. Yes, of course. Once an adult is coerced into the crime or you are convinced into the crime, once the crime is committed, it has been committed. When do you now how do you now want to convince us that coercing somebody into a crime has become a defense? In a crime of this nature, we must be serious. So that's why I told you that, I started by telling you that we are going to approach federal court by next week to stop this particular madness. It must stop.
I'm sure you recognize and understand that in terms of a crime, terrorism is quite complex. It's not as straightforward as your regular crime. So let me take two statements from the United Nations, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this. The United Nations says focusing only on prosecuting and imprisoning suspected terrorists may be insufficient to prevent people who have committed terrorist acts from doing so again following their release. Where there are large numbers of terrorism suspects, there is a risk that criminal justice systems can become overwhelmed. Can Nigeria's criminal justice system sufficiently accommodate the number of terrorists that we have? And also the point around the low-risk terrorists. These are terrorists. We saw earlier this week a 15-year-old, minors, some women who were abducted. Some of these people were kidnapped and radicalized. Would you still take the same position in view of these people? Not the ones, because don't forget there are persecutions as well. We talked about the persecutions a few weeks back. About 500 of them were in court, 345 of them were sentenced. So that's what we're looking at, so that we, there's a context to this. What's your take on that?
Okay, Manawa, don't miss this and all. Once a minor committed a crime, no matter the level of that crime, you try the minor under juvenile law. That one is a separate ballgame altogether. Now, you are talking about United Nations resolution. United Nations resolution is not automatic. This is a resolution. It's advisory. It is left for each sovereign state to look at your own peculiar laws, look at your own peculiar circumstances before you now apply it. Now, one, you should check whether that resolution is even in conflict with your own law. If it is in conflict with your own law, it cannot be applied. That one is one. Then two, if you must apply it, there must be amendments, legislative amendments on that particular issue. That one is also on that. Then two, you should also check the level of crime. Manabayo, last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how many generals were killed? Yesterday, how many persons were adopted in Benue by all these terrorists? And instead of you to look for a way to address it, you are busy reintegrating people into the system. I'm assuring you they are creating more harm than good, because those people, okay, Madam, have you think about that boy that lost the father and the mother? That man that lost the entire family, and you are now reintegrating the person in the same community, and you want the person to be watching the person. They are creating, this thing is creating more harm than good, and we should stop it. In the first instance, United Nations brought it when the issue of terrorism in a particular nation has come down. Now, the people in the IDP campus have left IDP camp to the various communities. You can now think about those who committed the act. The victims of this terrorist act, they are still in the IDP camp. And instead of you to think about how to rehabilitate them, instead of you to think about how to make their welfare there, and you are using our hard-earned money to say that you are rehabilitating a criminal under 6 months, it will not stand. Who protest against it?
You want to absorb these people, because don't forget that part of this solution is because of the overwhelming nature of the terrorists. Some of these, at least low-risk terrorists, the minors, the younger ones. Can our current justice system accommodate them as correctional services? Do we have enough facilities for them?
We are saying something. The law that established correctional center made provision for all this. Once you are convicted and sentenced, and when you are serving your prison term, there are some skills you are expected to learn. And when you are the prison officials and the people that will say that this person has repented, let the president consider him so that you go back to the society. It takes a process, and you must serve that punishment to an extent. Have you seen the face of these criminals? These alleged criminals.
Enjoying.
Under 6 months, somebody that worked the entire community, and he was arrested.
They are looking good more than people who are in the city itself.
In the university, before the university will consider you must submit yourself. These people were arrested.
Just as a point of correction, the army and the spokespeople for the Operation Safe Corridor had said that this group, the group that is considered for these programs, is not the group that commits mass atrocities. They say that they are the ones who are maybe abducted and forced into indoctrination. Just as a matter of clarity, because you said these people, the faces of these people, they've killed so many people, just point of correction. They, according to them, I'm not holding brief for them, but their statement says that they specifically target those who are
from the pit of hell,
victims of circumstance. But still speaking on the point of victims of circumstance, amidst this group, there were 8 foreigners, 1 from Burkina Faso, 1 from Cameroon, 2 from Chad, 2 from Niger Republic. I'd just love to get your opinion on that. Should we be rehabilitating foreign nationals? Should we be deporting them? Some would argue that if we deport them, they'll only go back and reintegrate and reinforce themselves
they include
with
foreigners
cells and maybe give them information. What should we be doing with the foreigners that are courts? What program is available to them?
Nigeria is a very funny country.
Vimba, I disagree with you. We are creating a very wrong precedent in this country. Do you know what you are doing? You are now making that as a defense. When you arrest a terrorist or an
it's not my defense.
I tell you that I was coerced into it.
It's not my defense, sir. I'm just reiterating their position. Yes.
Yes. I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to the representative of Chief of Army Staff, who said that most of them were coerced into it. So in other words, that was the ground upon which you consider them. So in other words, you also let other people go and commit crime. Immediately they arrest you, tell them that you are coerced into the crime. And I'm telling you that when they force you into the crime, or they convince you into the crime, or they pay you money to go into the crime, once you are an adult and you commit a crime, that should not be a defense. We should get it right. I am telling you, saying it in the national television, this is an epitome of fraud. Because the money used to rehabilitate these people, go to IDP camp. I was in IDP camp during Easter when I went to visit them. Go and see the victims of this terrorism. We can't allow it to stand. EFCC should investigate them. Now, after this one, in the next 6 months, they will get another budget. They will now get another few of them. They will say that, this is an epitome of fraud.
So what
Dr. Barra, just a clarification. You kept referring to Chief of Army Staff. That program, Operation Safe Corridor, is under the Defense Headquarters.
The Chief of Defense Staff.
Defense Headquarters. So it was generally, was making the point about winning these people.
And what is the Chief of Defense Staff, please?
The Chief of Defense Staff, Defense Headquarters, not that. They have enough for their plates to worry about. But what do you think about this whole idea you are very clear about rehabilitation. Then you know the basic philosophy by the United Nations, those resolutions that I mentioned earlier, is that even terrorists under their counter-terrorism resolutions can still be rehabilitated. But you are saying that in Nigeria it doesn't make sense. That prosecution should come first under PRM, which is also the United Nations program. The guy said earlier on that does Nigeria even have the capacity to follow the basic protocols before unleashing these persons onto society? Is there something that could be done differently?
Yes. But you are saying something. United Nations resolution is not binding on every country. Yes. So when you have the resolution, you now look at your own circumstances. You look at your own law. Can I apply it? This is not the only real resolution of United Nations, for goodness sake. Then when you check, this is not something that you can apply now. The issue of terrorism is on a high side. As I'm talking to you, many people were killed 3 days ago. You don't do the right thing on the wrong time, for goodness sake. What we are saying is that you cannot apply this thing. Okay, now I challenge the representative of the chief of the defense staff. Yesterday, when you are talking about this thing is not an amnesty, this is an act trying to reduce terrorism. I want to challenge you. Since you apply this particular procedure in Nigeria, tell us the rate of crime when you the rate of the terrorism when you started it, and the rate of terrorism now. Now you now discover that this thing now is an epitome. This is a means upon which the government are using to encourage people to go into terrorism. Because if you watch the time you started this during Babangida Buhari's regime, the thing increased. People were going into terrorism, thinking that this is the means of the way to go about it. And to worsen the situation, our leaders lack the political will to deal with the issue. Because when you have somebody who committed the terrorism offense, what stopped you from following it the way you did that of Nnamdi Kanu? Because that of Nnamdi Kanu, federal government released 4 SN with team of lawyers, and they were having the trial every day. Within a sense of 2 months, they have concluded the trial, convict and sentencing. Now, what happened for this particular people that wipe the entire community? Send people to IDP camp. Made Nigeria to be number 4 now in terrorism nation. And you say that you are rehabilitated. It can't stand.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maxwell Opara. Thank you for your time with us this morning. Very divisive debate. I know a number of people have different sides on different sides of the divide, but it's important that the defense headquarters provides Nigerians with as much information as possible so that they're able to set the record straight. But thank you for your time with us this morning.
You have heard it. That is the madness in the zoological republic that we are seeing every day. Every now and again, you see this madness happening. And I am going to show you another video that we are going to be rounding up, still on terrorism in Nigeria, for you to know that Nigeria can never be redeemed. Anybody that telling you about redemption in Nigeria is a liar. Nigeria can never ever be redeemed. Let us watch this video before we end the program. Lastly, for you to understand the terrible situation that the zoological
But Nigeria's armed forces are the largest.
A very terrible situation that the zoological republic is. That contraption is irredeemable. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you can continue to pretend for all I care. The truth will always remain the truth, and we will continue to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. No matter how they try their lies, no matter how they try their propaganda, no matter how they try in all their madness, the truth will always remain the truth. And we must make sure we continue to speak the truth and make sure that The Zoological Republic can never hide the truth. That is why we are here. Why we are here is to expose all their lies. We will continue to expose them. No matter how they try to hide the truth, we will continue to expose them. That is our duty. To expose their lies, expose their madness, expose their criminality. I want us to watch this very one lastly before we go. I want you to pay attention to this very video. It is a very important. It speaks volume of what we are talking about today, because enough is enough. And when we say the zoo have ended,
But Nigeria's armed forces are the largest in all of West Africa. On paper, there should be an absolutely formidable machine. But in reality, they are actively deployed across 2/3 of the country's 36 states all at once. They are stretched to the absolute breaking point. The Sufan Center, a global security intelligence group, revealed that massive embezzlement of weapons fund, terrible living conditions for troops, and sheer logistical sabotage have completely gutted the military's ability to actually hold territory. And because of this, a deadly pattern keeps repeating across Borno State. Insurgents attack a remote military base. The soldiers stationed there, widely understaffed and often fighting with broken equipment, are forced to either flee or be overrun. And when they run, they leave everything behind. Armored vehicles, heavy weapons, thousands of rounds of ammunition. The insurgents
and Boko Haram will carry everything.
then they use those exact same weapons to attack the next base.
Exactly.
Every time the Nigerian military loses a base, it isn't just a tactical defeat. It is a massive free weapons delivery for Boko Haram.
Absolutely.
By April 2025, the situation got so bad that Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum made an announcement that shocked the entire country. He publicly stated that military formations in the state were being, quote, dislodged almost on a daily basis without confrontation. The military wasn't just losing battles anymore. In some cases, soldiers were abandoning their posts even before the fighting began. By November of that year, the Nigerian Senate was panicking. They called for the urgent, immediate recruitment of 100,000 additional soldiers. This was a quiet, desperate admission that their fighting force was completely hollowed out. And when Boko Haram overran the resettled town of Ngoshi in March 2026, that grim reality became impossible to hide. The roughly 300 soldiers stationed at the local base were completely overpowered. They were forced to retreat into the deep bush alongside the very civilians they were supposed to protect, leaving the entire town to burn. 300 soldiers swept aside in a single night by a resurgent ghost army. So Ibrahim Bakura Doro now had everything he needed. He had a distracted enemy. He had an endless stream of recycled recruits. He had wide open borders, and he had a national military that was literally arming his fighters by losing to them. But what he decided to do with those massive advantages is what should terrify anyone paying attention to this story.
A lot of foreign insurgents are coming into Nigeria. So there's nothing between that. It's just will be cowboy like.
When most people hear the name Boko Haram, they think of one very specific place, the northeast, Borno State, the Lake Chad Basin. And for over a decade, that is exactly where this war was contained. Well, that is no longer true. Remember that trusted commander Ashikal sent into the deep forest near Nigeria's capital city of Abuja back in 2014? His name is Abubakar Saidu, though he is known simply as Sadiko. And for the past 10 years, hidden in the trees, he has been building something extraordinary. The Institute for Security Studies recently conducted a massive, detailed investigation into this specific
And
cell.
the people when they recruit,
They interviewed
when they integrate.
defendants. They spoke to local victims. They sat down with women who had escaped after being forcibly married to these fighters. what they uncovered wasn't just a military base, it was a complete mutation of the insurgency. Sadiko's cell does not operate like traditional Boko Haram. Instead of a strict religious command hierarchy, it operates under kachalas, that is, ruthless local warlords. They raid villages, they kidnap innocent people for ransom, and they justify the massive extortion as taking the spoils of war from unbelievers. And here's the most critical detail. This cell actively tolerates local bandits using drugs, drinking alcohol, and engaging in prostitution. Under normal Boko Haram doctrine, every single one of those acts is punishable by death. When strict clerics from the northeast complained about this, Sadiku gave a chillingly practical answer. The locals, quote, will change with time. This is pragmatism over ideological purity, and it is working flawlessly. The local bandits provide the manpower and an intimate knowledge of the terrain. In exchange, Boko Haram provides the heavy weapons, shipped directly by Bakura Doro from his hidden island base in Chad. Together, this terrifying alliance now controls massive swaths of forest in Niger State. And the Nigerian military's ground forces, well, after suffering repeated deadly attacks, they have completely withdrawn. But this expansion doesn't stop there. A completely separate network, led by a commander named Malam Mahmouda, has been spreading south. It moved from Niger State all the way down into Kwara State, reaching the fringes of the old Oyo National Park in Nigeria's southwest. Mahmouda was eventually arrested in August 2025, but the sleeper cells he established are still highly active. In fact, the International Crisis Group identified Sadiko's sprawling forces as the likely perpetrators behind a horrific massacre in Kwara in February 2026, where 162 people were slaughtered. In the weeks that followed, suspected Boko Haram fighters killed at least 71 more people in raids across the region. And then comes the connection that ties this entire nightmare together. Remember Lakurawa? That is the armed group that suddenly regrouped after those crucial border patrols collapsed. According to sources within the Institute for Security Studies, Lakurawa formally pledged his allegiance to Boko Haram in August 2025. Researchers even obtained images showing Boko Haram fighters physically traveling to join Lakurawa in the lawless tribal area between Nigeria, Niger, and Benin. Sadiku is actively sending his own fighters to reinforce them, and Lakurawa emissaries visit Sadiku's forest camp every single year. If you map out these attacks, the terrifying reality becomes clear. This is no longer a northeastern insurgency. This has become a fully national armed network with alliances reaching deep into the Sahel. And for the ordinary Nigerians living trapped inside this expanding web, this convergence is creating something far worse than any single terrorist group. Here's the brutal reality of living inside this crisis. Imagine you are a farmer in Borno State. If Boko Haram even suspects you gave information to their rivals in Iswap, they will massacre your entire village. This isn't hypothetical. That is exactly what happened at Malan Karamti in May 2025. Over 100 people were gathered up and marched out into the deep bush. At least 57 of them were executed on the spot. Dozens more simply vanished without a trace. But if ISWAP suspects you helped Boko Haram, they come for you next. And if the Nigerian military suspects you helped either group, you face immediate arrest. Or much worse, both the armed insurgents and the national security agencies constantly demand intelligence from these local communities. But providing that information or simply being suspected of providing it brings absolute devastation from all sides. There is no safe choice. It is a complete trap. In September 2025, Boko Haram attacked Daru Jama. This was a community in Borno that had just been beset with 3,000 people who had spent a decade living in displacement camps. The government had finally looked them in the eye and told them it was safe to go back home. Instead, more than 60 people were slaughtered, including the soldiers stationed there to protect them. The state governor visited the very next day and told the traumatized survivors to stay and rebuild. And this brings us to the core truth of this entire war. The reality that should keep every Nigerian awake at night. Boko Haram is not just the Shekau group you used to know. It is something far darker now. Niger claims they killed Ibrahim Bakura Doro in a drone strike in August 2025, but his fighters immediately denied it. And multiple intelligence sources say he is still very much alive. But honestly, even if he is dead, recent history tells us exactly how this thing goes. When Shekau died, everyone expected his faction to permanently fall apart. Instead, Bakura Doro emerged from the shadows within months, more strategic and dangerous than before. Because killing leaders does not kill movements. To end this, you have to kill the conditions that created that in the first place.
The numerical strength of the Nigerian army is not enough to contain the situation.
The UN Development Program recently sat down with people who voluntarily joined violent extremist groups across Africa and asked them a simple question. Why? A quarter of them gave the exact same answer. They had no jobs. And since 2017, that number has nearly doubled. But there was another finding in that report that cuts even deeper. The researchers asked about, quote, tipping points. That is a specific triggering event that finally pushed a person over the edge and made them join up, or those who had a tipping point. A staggering 71% said that moment was an act of abuse by their own government security forces. It wasn't a fiery religious sermon. It wasn't a slave recruitment video. It was a soldier kicking down your door. Boko Haram didn't come roaring back because Bakura Doro is some kind of untouchable military genius. No. It came back because Nigeria handed the group absolutely everything it needed to survive.
Yes. That is true. That is exactly the situation of Nigeria. When we say the zoo is gone, it is gone. You have had it. And these people that we just played their history now are the people that are telling you that they have re-radicalized them. How can you re-radicalize these people in 6 months? 6 months only. Wherever you are, prepare yourself and make sure you support the exit from the Zoological Republic. Disintegration of Nigeria is the ultimate goal. That is the only thing that can bring peace. That is the only thing that can bring respect and unity in that country. If you don't disintegrate it, you are only postponing the doomsday, and it will surely come. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with this program. I appreciate every one of you, and I will see you again tomorrow morning by the grace of God. Good night, and have a wonderful night. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, ideal heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
days way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops underground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abaganazo Bunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.